Harihi Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Chapter 3. Description of the Lila Avataras. Chapter summary. Having described the Purusha Avataras and Guna Avataras, the Laghu Bhagavatamrita now delves into a discussion of the Lila Avataras, or pastime incarnations of the Lord. You find it? Which page?
1.
Oh, 1.
The second.
Oh, this is second study guide. Okay. All right. So first we read the descriptions of the Purusha Avataras and the Guna Avataras, and now the Lila Avataras. So this is the usual way how Shastra and how life unfolds. First of all, the field of activity should be established, the kshetra, and then the operation of the field. What do you do in the field? So this is the Sambandha Gyan. First of all, you have to understand who you are, what is this place, who created this place, who made the place, what are the rules, what is allowed, what is not allowed, all these things. Of course, some people say that, materialists, they say that nobody has created the place. It just somehow miraculously exists without creator. But if you read carefully their account of creation, not creation, because there is no creator, what you would say? Their account of manifestation. Explosion. If you read carefully how they describe it, at least this theory, because they have different theories, but this one, which is more like the most famous, prominent, they say that all stuff, the whole stuff of the universe, the time, the space itself, everything appeared out of a one very small, rather small, infinitesimally small object, or maybe, I don't know, even if it's an object, if it's proper to call it object. And it appeared at suddenly, without prior notice. So if you think about this, this is a miracle. Therefore, some guy, I think there was one guy who said that the modern science, they ask for a free miracle, give me one free miracle, and then I'll explain the rest with logic and mathematics. But still, there should be some free miracle. And if you study carefully, not that I study carefully, this is their idea of God. This is God, because it's a miracle, it's a miraculous event. That means you cannot explain it logically. It just happens. But because they're very envious, they don't want to call this God. It's not God, it is just nature, whatever. Because nature, you don't have to serve nature. You don't have to worship nature. And God, especially personal God, then you have to do all these things. And if you're envious, then you don't want to do this. So escape. So any explanation of reality by accepting impersonal idea of God, or no God at all, it is a impious and born out of envy. So first we have to establish the field, and here the Purusha Avataras, they establish the field of activity, Hare Krishna, because Mahavishnu creates Mahatattva, doesn't really create it, it is there, it is eternal, but he manifests, he activates the material energy. And then once the field is established, then the Guna Avataras, they describe the rules. What are the rules in the field? There are three main ways this field operates, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, and they are not equal. They're in hierarchy. There is the good, the bad, and in between. In between which somehow the sages they praise the good one, the Sattva, they reject, they are disgusted by the Tamas, and they're indifferent to the middle one, Rajas. So this is how the field operates. And we are advised that we better be good, because by conducting ourselves in the Sattva Guna, then we will get good result. And now, the Lila Avataras, or the pastime incarnations of the Lord, they will show how do you operate the field in practical terms. What do you do? Because the Lila Avataras of the Lord, they are giving the example of the ideal ruler, the ideal sage, the ideal devotee, the ideal man, the ideal woman. Everything is shown by example. So the field, then how to operate the field. What are the rules? Who created the field? And how to operate. Therefore, the Vedic scriptures, they usually begin by the account of the creation, right? Bhagavatam also. Manu also. There is the creation, because by explaining the creation, that means there is a creator, there is the person who has a plan, this is his energy, it's not our place, we have to follow the rules, then everything will follow smoothly afterwards. If this is not clear in the beginning, then we speculate, oh, maybe it's my place, maybe I'm the Lord. Okay, so, and in the same way, we also operate in the same way. First of all, we have to build the house. Why we're building the house? Because we want to have some interaction inside this house with different people, our family, our friends. So first the field, also the field of activity is the body. First you get the body, and then you have to operate according to the laws of Krishna. All right, so Lord Chaitanya's instructions to Sanatana Goswami in Chaitanya Charitamrita mentioned the Lila Avataras. Hare Krishna. Only briefly, Madhya 239699. Here Srila Rupa Goswami gives a full exposition. The list which appears in Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 3, uses a different system of numbering incarnations, which is just for the convenience of the narration and does not strictly follow the chronological order of the Avataras' appearance. In this text, Rupa Goswami presents the incarnations in their actual order of appearance. This is called Anvaya. This is the direct meaning. So, in Bhagavatam, there is a storyline, and sometimes, because the storyline should be presented in a certain way, so it is smooth and more interesting for the reader, then sometimes the Avataras, Hare Krishna, the appearance is not chronological always. But here, in Laghu Bhagavatamrita, Rupa Goswami will give the chronological order. Verse breakdown. 1. The 4 Kumaras. 2. Narada Muni. 3. Varaha. 4. Matsya. 5. Yagya. 6. Narayana. 7. Kapila. 8. Dattatreya. 9. Hayagriva. 10. Hamsa. 11. Dhruva Priya. Prishnigarbha. Who is this? The incarnation. Dhruva Priya.
Prishnigarbha is Vishnu who appears before, in front of Dhruva.
Yes. Yes, very nice. 12. Rishabha. 13. Prithu. 14 Nrisimha, 15 Kurma, 16 Dhanvantari, 17 Mohini, 18 Vamana, 19 Parashuram, 20 Rama, 21 Vyasa, 22 Balaram, 23 Krishna, 24 Buddha, 25 Kalki. Text 1.
So this is the chronology.
Yeah, this is how the order they appear. So the most ancient are the youngest. For Kumaras, they are 5 years old boys and they are the first ones.
It's interesting how. Anyway.
What is
Rama, he is towards the end.
Yeah, because he appeared just how many? 4 Manvantars, 3 Manvantars ago.
It's interesting how Narada Muni has been there for practically the whole time.
Yeah, Narada Muni and the 4 Kumaras, they appear the first day of the life of Brahma and they stay forever till the end of the universe.
First come to the party and they stay at the party.
They saw it all. You know. These guys, they can say, been there, done that, I saw it all. They're the only ones who can say, well, Brahma also. There are few more Chiranjeev like that. Text 1. To the best of my judgment, I will now describe the Lila Avataras. This will generally be described according to the Bhagavatam. The Kumaras are described in the first canto. First of all, in the beginning of creation, the Lord became the 4 unmarried sons of Brahma, the Kumaras, who, being situated in a vow of celibacy, underwent severe austerities for realization of the absolute truth. So it seems that austerity, tapasya, is the beginning of all auspicious work, because this is how the universe also begins. Brahma performs austerity and then he is able to create. And also Krishna says that himself, that by the power of austerity I create, I maintain and I destroy the creation. Also, even the materialists, they understand this. Those who are at least smart materialists, they also understand that it should be, before you start your job for the day, you should do something to prepare yourself. Therefore, these people, they get up the time when we do, around 4. And then they have 2 or 3 hours to get ready to prepare, to do some meditation. Many of them do some exercise, meditation, whatever. They have some sadhana and they perform tapasya. And then when they start doing their job, they're already ahead of their competitors. Because the competition, usually they get up little before and they quickly take shower and take breakfast and run. No time for tapasya, for preparation. And amongst all types of tapasya, celibacy is very powerful. And again, even the karmists, they realize this, that if somebody controls his senses, he becomes, or she becomes powerful. Therefore, nowadays, a virgin girl, something very rare and very valuable, because they are not, the commodity is very rare. And then they become powerful by tapasya, by celibacy especially. So Garbhodakashai, as Vamsha of Krishna, first took shelter of the creation in the form of the Kumaras. So this is incarnation of Garbhodakashai. Vishnu first appeared in the material world as the Kumaras. This is the meaning. These Brahmanas performed severe austerities of continuous celibacy. So Brahma performed tapasya, then he created the universe, and as a result of his tapasya, the Lord appeared as the 4 Kumaras, and he himself also started to perform tapasya. This is so important. And also Narayana Rishi, we will read about him, about them also. The words first, second, etc. in the Bhagavatam are for enumeration only and do not indicate the actual order of their appearance. They are arranged in time sequence in this work. So imagine what kind of personality you should be to be able to make this statement. Bhagavatam says 1, 2, 3, but it's not actually the chronological order. The order is given in this work. You gotta be really special. Text 3 to 5. This avatara, that means the 4 Kumaras, is actually 4 persons, but is considered as one by the devotees. The word sana, ancient, is added to the word chatu, 4, to make chatushana, the 4 ancient ones. The 4 ancient ones. They appeared in this world in order to preach bhakti and pure knowledge. Footnote. The glories of Sanat Kumara and his brothers are described by Srila Sanatana Goswami in the second part of Brihad Bhagavatamrita and also in the third and second cantos of Bhagavatam. Lord Brahma said, to create different planetary systems I had to undergo austerities and penance. And the Lord, thus being pleased with me, incarnated in 4 sanas, Sanaka, Sanat Kumara, Sanandana and Sanatana. In the previous creation, the spiritual truth was devastated, but the 4 sanas explained it so nicely that the truth at once became clearly perceived by the sages. Sakaleneha Mahata Yoga Nashta Parantapa, Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita, then in due course of time the knowledge becomes obscured and then gradually appears to be lost. So again and again the Lord and the sages, they have to reveal the knowledge because this is the nature of the material world.
In Srimad Bhagavatam, it's explained that the Kumaras are both, that they're Vishnu and they're Jiva. It explains it both at the same time.
Yeah, here they appear as the Avesha Avataras later on. It means Jiva. But in which sense they are Vishnu? Because they are pervaded by the Lord to a very big extent, I guess. Anyway, we'll read about this. They have the appearance of 5-year-old boys, are golden in complexion, and were born from Brahma. Narada is also described in the first canto. In the millennium of the Rishis, the personality of Godhead accepted the third empowered incarnation in the form of Devarshi Narada. It says third, but actually second. Who is a great sage, chronologically, among the demigods. He created works which deal with devotional service and which inspire non-fruitive action. The Lord then created the sages, and among them he became Narada. The Lord's powers entered Narada, since Narada is an Avesha Avatara. So he's a Jiva. But the Lord's powers entered him. He created the Narada Pancharatra, Sattvatam Tantram. Karmanam Naishkarmyam refers to actions which destroy all bondage of karma, because those actions possess elements of offering to the Lord. These actions are like mercury which has been purified of its poison. This is number 3. Narada Muni's position in our parampara cannot be understated. Krishna glorifies him by telling Uddhava, Devarshinam Narado Aham, among saintly demigods I am Narada Muni. The first half of Brihad Bhagavatamrita is about Narada Muni's wandering throughout the universe in search of Krishna's dearest devotees. In the second half of Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Narada appears several times to give important instructions to Gopkumara. We're reading the footnote, right? Significantly, Narada appears in every canto of Bhagavatam, except the last, typically as an instructing spiritual master or divine messenger. Below is a list of his appearances along with the devotees he is advising, or episodes in which he takes part. Okay, so that's interesting. Canto 1, Vedavyasa. What is this? He is instructing his disciple, Vyasadeva. He is telling him that you have done something very bad because in the name of Dharma you have encouraged sense gratification. You have thought perhaps that if you give them straight Krishna consciousness they will reject it. But this is not true. Some will reject, some will accept it. So now you should explain the full glory of Krishna repeatedly, and the glory of pure devotional service. Then Yudhishthira. Yudhishthira is first canto.
This is
When
Dhritarashtra is living and Yudhishthira doesn't know what's happening and
Right. Oh, he tells him, because Yudhishthira is lamenting. And Narada Muni says, everybody is in the everybody is controlled by time, so nobody can avoid. Nobody is outside of the time factor control, and everybody is protected by the Lord. You cannot protect anyone. You also protected by the Lord. So don't worry about Dhritarashtra and Gandhari, because they are protected by the Lord. And yeah. Then present when Shukadeva speaks Bhagavatam to Parikshit. Okay, so this is the beginning. Second canto. What's happening there? He inquires from his father Brahma in the very beginning. These are the questions. And there is long answer. Yeah, he thinks. Yeah, he thinks you're the supreme, and then Brahma says no. Krishna is the supreme. Then third canto. Hiranyaksha. What's happening there? Devahuti. He's maybe a messenger. I don't remember. Anyway, fourth, Shiva, Dhruva and Uttanapada. Okay, he's the guru of Dhruva Maharaj. Uttanapada. He speaks to Uttanapada Maharaj because he brings news to the king about his son. The Prachetas, and King Prachinabarhi, he is the guru of the king, so he's preaching to the king. He comes to the king and he tells him, you have to take Vanaprastha. And the king says, okay, I understand, but my sons are still performing tapasya. Can I just wait for them? They will come and then I'll take Vanaprastha when they come. And Narada Muni says, no, that's not going to work. Right now, like I'm talking to you, right now you stand up and go.
That's intense.
And the king takes Vanaprastha without waiting for the Prachetas to come back and to be enthroned. Can you imagine now some sannyasi comes to the temple, and then all the devotees are there, and then like Jayadvaita Maharaj, he likes this Vanaprastha topic. So how old are you? 55, Maharaj. Okay, it's over.
The Prachetas, they didn't actually come out of their meditation until Chakshusha Manvantam.
Wow. So
Six Manvantaras.
6 Manvantaras later then.
Yeah.
So who's the king then?
The big trees were
Yeah, they go underwater, and then Daksha repopulates in the Chakshusha Manvantam.
So who took over then? They didn't come. Priyavrata Maharaj.
Yeah, Priyavrata Maharaj.
All right.
Makes sense.
Oh, that's why they had to come down from Satyaloka to convince him, because he would not.
Yeah.
Narada Muni made him brahmachari, and he
It was
would.
15 generations, then Priyavrata took over.
Then fifth, Priyavrata. He was Priyavrata's guru. Savarna Muni. He became Manus, I think. Anyway, I don't remember this. Praises Lord Ananta in the assembly of Brahma, 5th canto. Then 6th canto, Haryashvas and the Shalvalashvas. These are the sons of Daksha who became sannyasis, much to the dismay and the agony of Daksha. And Shukadeva Goswami, he says that, I think the second group, the Shalvalashvas, they left and they went to the forest, and they have not come back, even to this very day, he says. They have not returned even to this, even so some kind of sense of humor. Even to this very day, they don't return. Yes.
See, Daksha always gets himself into some stuff.
At least 2 times, we know, with Shiva and with Narada Muni. It's very interesting how he cursed Narada Muni and how he offended him. It's very interesting to read his line of thought, because by reading it, it may become familiar. You may think, maybe I have heard somewhere this logic. Maybe you have heard this. How he tells Narada Muni, well, you are dressed as a saintly person, but you're actually not saintly person. Actually, I'm dressed like ordinary, like not ordinary, family person, but I'm actually saintly and you are a rascal. You're dressed as a Vaishnava, you're not a true Vaishnava. This is one of the places in Bhagavatam when you hear this. You are dressed as a devotee, you're not a real devotee. So this is one place. Another place is when the 4 Kumaras, they curse Jaya and Vijaya. They tell them, you appear as devotees, but you're actually you're not a devotee. You're non-devotee. Your place is in the material world. So both in these cases, the person who said this was not right. So we have to be careful when we say he's not a devotee. He has never been a devotee. That's kind of scary, because the 4 Kumaras were wrong. They understood that they are wrong when they saw how Jaya Vijaya reacted to their curse. Then they understood, oh, we have cursed sinless servants of the Lord. They fell repentant. And Daksha, we know what happened to him. So, yeah, we should be careful.
You know that the second time that he was angry with Narada, nothing happened. And it was actually after when he offered these prayers, consequent prayers to the Lord, so he had darshan with the Lord.
Yeah.
Again, yet still again, when he came and he got angry, but we don't see anything happening after that. Like in the first instance, we know he got his head cut off, but in the second time.
Maybe we don't know everything that happened, but definitely he offended Narada Muni, pure devotee. And also he said, you inspired in the hearts of these naive, unexperienced, innocent boys, you inspired the feeling of renunciation. But in this way, in this case, in this way, you did great disservice to me, something like this. And this feeling of renunciation should appear as a result of true realization, and this can come only when they go properly through the Grihastha ashram. This was his point. They did not marry, they did not go through the whole thing, therefore the realization did not appear in their hearts. This is the only way that the realization can come. And Prabhupada comments that in the same way he is cursed by the parents of his disciples, because Daksha cursed Narada Muni that he cannot stay in one place, he should always travel. And he said, that's why I'm also cursed, because I also inspire in the same way the spirit of renunciation in young boys who did not go through the Grihastha ashram. And therefore I'm also cursed and I cannot stay. I have to go and travel. But this is a blessing. So it's interesting.
So actually, Daksha, he's a devotee, and he had a service to perform by the Lord. And Narada came and kind of obstructed his service in a way.
Yeah.
In a way, if we look at, Daksha's side, he wanted to perform his service to the Lord, and someone came and he just...
That's why I'm saying this Daksha, Lila, Narada, it's very interesting, because when you hear what he says, these things are happening right now. And this mood is, I have heard these things myself, what Daksha says. Yes?
I can clarify a little what happened is Daksha was meditating and he made these Hamsaguya prayers. So he attained perfection at that time, and the Lord came, he seen the Lord, and the Lord promised him that by his descendants, his children would repopulate the whole universe. So then he gave birth to the Haryashvas, and Narad then liberated them, and then the Shabalashvas, he gave birth to them, and then Narad liberated them as well. And that time he was angry, so he cursed him. But what happened is Narad Muni has seen that Daksha was perfect after his Hamsaguya prayers. He was perfect. So the children he gave birth to were also perfect. And that was a problem for the universe, because then everyone would have been too good. But there needed to be some mixture of the modes, you see. There needed to be different species. And that's why it was arranged that Daksha gave birth to daughters, and then the daughters married the sages, and then all the different species came. So Narad actually knew what he was doing, and Daksha was thinking, well, the Lord had promised me, but they had to cross wires. Narad knew the higher picture, and Daksha didn't. So
So nice. That's so nice.
that's what happened, yeah.
Nice.
Thank you. Thank you. Then he relates the history of King Chitraketu to Shukadeva. So he's also instructing Chitraketu Maharaj. Then Yudhishthira in 7th canto. Yudhishthira. These are the instructions of Varnashrama. Then Indra. What's happening with Indra? I don't remember. Indra. Oh, yeah. Then Indra kidnaps the wife of...
Kayadu and Prahladu.
Yes. So he kidnaps the wife of Hiranyakashipu, and then Narada meets him and he tells him to release her. And Indra submits. And then Prahlad, of course. 8th canto, Jambasura and demigods. Is connected with the churning of the milk ocean? I'm not sure what it is. Who is Jambasura? Maybe there is a great battle there. Anyway, 9th canto, Harishchandra. And then 10th canto, many stories. Kansa, Nalakuvaren, Manigriva, Kalayavana, etc. 11th canto, Vrishnis, Vasudeva, a related story of King Nimi with the 9 Yugendras. All right.
This devotee who runs the OS, what is his name?
Vishnumurti Prabhu.
Vishnumurti Prabhu. So one day we were speaking, he told me that he took all Bhagavatam verses and he counted which personality, how many verses he spoke. And the top 5, I don't remember the top 5, but the top 2 are first is Krishna and then is Narada Muni. Narada Muni is having the second more verses.
After Krishna.
After Krishna.
In Bhagavatam. Okay. Because Krishna speaks in 11th canto a lot. In other places also. 10th canto. Very prominent. So where are we now?
Text 9.
Text 9. Или нещо стана там. Okay, this was footnote 3. Okay, text 6 to 8. The Lord took the form of a sage among the Devatas. White like the moon, he appeared as the son of Brahma for spreading devotion to the Lord everywhere in the material world. Appearing in the first kalpa of Brahma's life, the Kumaras and Narada remain through all the kalpas of Brahma's life. Varaha is also described in the first canto. The supreme enjoyer of all sacrifices accepted the incarnation of a boar, the second incarnation, and for the welfare of the earth, he lifted the earth from the nether regions of the universe.
It means the lower regions.
Nether. Okay, lifting the earth which had sunk to Rasatala during Pralaya, according to Vishnu Dharmutara. For putting the universe in proper order, the Lord appeared with the body of a boar. This Avatara appeared during the reign of Swayambhuva Manu. Text 9, Varaha is described in the second canto also. When the unlimitedly powerful Lord assumed the form of a boar, Okay, so this is a mistake, I think. When the limited powerful Lord assumed the form of the boar, the form of all sacrifices, I believe, as a pastime, just to leave the planet Earth, the Lord pierced with his tusk the first demon, Hiranyaksha, who was submerged in the great ocean of the universe. This boar Avatara appeared during the reign of Chakshushamanu. When the Lord appeared in the form of a boar, he pierced with his tusks Hiranyaksha, who had submerged himself in the great ocean, just as Indra pierced the mountain with his thunderbolt. Footnote. So there are actually two Varahas, but Shukadeva Goswami, when he describes them, he merges them in one, but there are two different incarnations in two different Manvantaras. This verse states that the Lord assumed the form of Varaha, but at the same time, the form of Varaha exists eternally, and his avatar is simply the occasion of revealing that form at a certain time and place in the material creation. Sri Bhagavatamrita mentions the presence of Lord Varaha in the shell of the element earth surrounding the universe, where the goddess Bhumi worships him with superworldly opulence. Sometimes people ask, where is Bhumi Devi? So this is the answer. She's located, one of her locations is there, one of the abodes. In the 5th canto, Shukadeva describes Bhumi Devi worshipping Lord Varaha in the Uttarakuru region of Jambudvip. This is the northern part of Jambudvip, where Arjuna was not allowed to enter. When he went there to conquer over the 4 directions, and they told him, we respect you, we will give tribute to Maharaja Yudhishthira, but this place is not for people like you. You should not enter. So please take the tribute, all the best, and go home.
And what happened? Arjuna accepted it?
Yeah,
Because
they respected Maharaja Yudhishthira. They were cool, but
The purpose was fulfilled, right? The
Yeah.
purpose was fulfilled.
People say that when Alexander the Great came to India, something similar happened to him. Some strange creatures came. They describe them as, some accounts, like birds with human head. They came and they told him, you're a great hero, but this is a holy land, Bharat. You're not allowed to enter here. Better don't. If you do, you will die. And he's the great hero, so he would not listen, of course. He entered and he fought this battle with King Purushottam. And my Indian friends, they tell me that this King Purushottam, he is not, the only place we know about him is from the Greek accounts. He's nowhere to be found in the Indian side of the story. So he was a rather insignificant king. That's the point. Insignificant king.
And he defeated the...
Well, the Greeks say Alexander defeated him. The Indians say that it was not decided, undecisive. But anyway, there was stiff opposition already the first battle. And the Purushottama king, this king, he had some war elephants, but not many. And still, it was a terrible battle. And after this battle, different people say different things, but the fact is that they didn't want to continue with the invasion. They decided to turn back.
What were these creatures?
I don't know, some
Angels.
some demigods.
Gandharvas.
Yeah, even some time ago, Sridhar Maharaj gave me 10 books like this. There was 10 books. I had to read through and prepare some material he wanted me to write. So in one of these books, it was written that even the Muslims, they accepted Bharatavarsha as the original heaven. This is the heaven. The place where Adam and Eve were, it's actually here. At least some Muslim scholars Totally. So Bharata is special place, and people outside are very envious, and therefore they always try to present Bharatavarsha and the scriptures of Bharata in a very bad light. So whenever you read some news about India in the internet, okay. So where are we? Again, got lost.
Text 10.
Text 10. The boar Varaha advented twice. Did we read the footnote? Yeah.
I think so.
Yes. The boar Varaha, the boar Avatara advented twice. First during Svayambhuva Manvantara, from the nostril of Brahma, in order to lift up the earth, and the second time during Chakshusha Manvantara, appearing from the water. So two of them. This is one day of Brahma. So in one day of Brahma they appear two times. Svayambhuva Manvantara and Chakshusha Manvantara. Chakshusha is which one? The seventh? The sixth? And the Svayambhuva is the first. And now we are in the seventh. So in the previous Manvantara. Why and how did the first boar avatar appear? When and how did the second boar avatar appear? What were their colors and forms? As in the case of Matsya, the boar appeared twice in the Kalpa or day of Brahma. During the reign of Svayambhuva, the boar appeared from the nostril of Brahma and lifted the earth. This is described in the first verse, describing the boar. So this is the first verse of Bhagavatam, describes the first avatara. And the second verse describes the boar who appeared during the reign of the sixth Manu, Chakshusha. He appeared from the water instead, lifted up the earth and killed Hiranyaksha. Okay. Text 11. The boar with tusks assumed the four-legged animal form to kill Hiranyaksha and lift the earth. According to some authorities, however, this form is half man and half boar. We have such deity down the road. Varaha Nrisimha with Lakshmi Devi. Where is this? In at Yogapit. Yogapit.
Yeah. Okay.
The man boar form is mentioned in the Padma Purana, so it exists also, this form. Text 12. Sometimes the boar avatar is black like a cloud, Jalada Shyama, and sometimes he is white like the moon. With either color, he is the form of sacrifice and very strong. Yeah. The black form appeared first during Svayambhuva Manvantara, and the white form appeared second during Chakshusha Manvantara.
So he's not red.
No.
Okay.
What is this red Varaha?
It was being taught about the shift and about
One time is white and one time is red.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe in the verse of Bhagavatam.
I also heard red.
Yeah. That was in another day of Brahma.
Yeah, that's easily we solve all these mysteries.
What is it? Kalpa?
Kalpabela. Game over. Kalpabela. It is stated in scriptures, and also we have revealed scriptures. And that means that there are scriptures which are not revealed. So somewhere there is other explanation. It is stated in scriptures that Hiranyaksha was born from Daksha. So now here there will be a explanation why we say that he appears in Chakshusha Manvantara. What is the reason? It is stated in scriptures that Hiranyaksha was born from Daksha, who was the son of the Prachetas during the reign of Chakshusha Manu. Thus the appearance of the boar avatar during the reign of Chakshusha Manu is confirmed by the information about the birth of Daksha during that time. Okay? This is the proof. Because we know that Hiranyaksha was born from Daksha, and this happened in Chakshusha Manu, so the person who killed Hiranyaksha this happened in Chakshusha Manu.
Actually, Prabhupada and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, they say something different to this. They say that Daksha was born in the Swayambhuva Manvantara, twice from the Prachetas. And I did a lot of research, and my conclusion is that the Prachetas were meditating till this time, and then Daksha was born. So that's the same here, that's what it says.
Yeah.
But we know, I mean, isn't it that we know that Hiranyaksha was born from Diti and Kashyapa?
Yeah, Bhagavatam as much.
So what is the connection between Daksha is the father of Diti, right?
Yeah.
So in this sense, he's descendant of, not directly, but he's the grandfather. The verse quoted from the second canto, starting Yatrodhyataha, does not state that the boar appeared during the Chakshusha Manvantara. This verse clarifies the situation. So in Bhagavatam it is not stated explicitly when he appears, but by this proof we know. Text 14. Daksha is...
That means that Hiranyakashipu also appeared at that time.
Yeah, that's the logic.
So that means the whole pastime with Prahlad Maharaj was from the previous month, Chakshusha. Looks like.
Yeah, we will read about this. Most of the avatars actually, they appear in these two, Swayambhuva and Chakshush, somehow. These are the most populated. And there are some others, but not so many.
So is it that in other yugas there's, kalpas, there's not much going on, or it's just not described?
I don't know.
I can answer that. The reason is Vyasadeva has written this book, so he's edited it. So he chooses what we listen to, and he chooses that for a reason to guide us, So there are things happening, but he doesn't choose to give us that information.
Revealed scriptures and not revealed scriptures.
Or maybe Krishna likes to appear in the morning and noontime. Not in the day. Because Swayambhuva is...
Because everybody gets too excited in the evening, everybody gets too excited, then Krishna appears and they cannot sleep properly. So morning, noon, but then evening is quiet time, just do some meditation. Okay, at least we make some jokes.
There's also something else very special about this. That is that the same people, Hiranyaksha and Vishvakarma and all these people, they were all born in Swayambhuva Manvantara, and then they're all born again in the Chakshusha Manvantara. We hear exactly the same people. Ravan, Rahu, all of them, they're all born in the beginning and they're born again. And that's when the universe was destroyed and then it was remade again, then Daksha knew all of these characters, and they all took rebirth again, because whatever was in his mind, it all manifested again, all these things, So we're hearing the same thing twice in different ways. It's quite special.
Yeah.
It can be very confusing as well. When you read it and you're trying to study, you think, wow, that clashes, it doesn't make sense. And so then you have to think. And when you think, it's called Madhyama Shabda. And there's 4 forms of Shabda Brahman. And this thinking aspect is
the middle one.
Internally seeing with your eyes of knowledge. That makes you have spiritual advancement. And that's why it's written in this cryptic way, so that you actually think about it and you meditate on it, and then you make spiritual advancement. It's very clever.
Therefore, Krishna says, Parokshavada Rishaya, Paroksha Mamacha Priya. The sages, they like to speak in a Parokshavada, in the indirect way. And I also like this way of thinking and speaking and writing, because it creates some interest, and it's interesting, and then you have to apply your intelligence to understand what's happening. Okay, Daksha is described in the 4th canto. His previous body had been destroyed, but he, the same Daksha, inspired by the Supreme Will, created all the desired living entities in the Chakshusha Manvantara. Is this what you are referring to?
Where are we?
We are
It's 14.
text 14. Daksha is described in the 4th canto. His previous body had been destroyed.
It says the same thing as I
Yeah,
just said.
yeah, he just said this and it has been
And
confirmed.
I did a lot of study to get to that conclusion. I should have just read this book.
Yeah, but good for you. You did research, your philosophical speculations proved
20
fruitful.
years worth.
But just look at it this way. If you did not do this for 20 years, maybe you would have done something which was not so beneficial, but at least you used these 20 years to serve the Lord, you know, with your intelligence. You applied yourself.
This instruction here, it's called Vaikarika, when the 4 forms of Shabda Brahman. So it's external, spoken by the Vedas or the Guru or teacher, whatever. And that goes in your ears externally. But then there's 3 internal forms of Shabda Brahman. And so if you hear it by the speaker, it just goes often in one ear and out the other. Unless you do the internal forms, and then it's within your heart, and you can remember it forever. And it causes a change in your body.
This reminds me about the stages of Vedic knowledge, education. First is what you say in Karaka or Shravana, and then you're supposed to internalize it.
Yes.
Shravan Manana,
Yeah.
and then Nididhyasana means realization. Then it changes your lifestyle, your behavior, your value system, everything changes.
Yes, Sukadev says, as I've heard and as I've understood, as I've assimilated.
And Sutta Goswami says, the birds fly on different altitudes, so in the same way I will present this knowledge according to my own realization. This verse gives the proof. Daiva Chodita means inspired by the Lord. But where does it say that Hiranyaksha was born during this period? The next verse explains. Daksha was the son of the Prachetas in the lineage of Uttanapada. Daksha's daughter was Diti. Hiranyaksha was the son of Diti. So this is the proof. At the beginning of the first kalpa of Brahma, Svayambhuva's sons had produced no offspring.
Yeah, that's not correct.
Thus the Prachetas, Daksha, Diti and Hiranyaksha could not have existed then. But can we not also consider that Varaha killed Hiranyaksha during Svayambhuva's reign? This verse answers. At the beginning of Brahma's day, during Svayambhuva's reign, his 2 sons did not yet have offspring. One hears only of the birth of his sons and daughters. Oh, so they did have offspring then. Thus, at that time, there were no Prachetas, Daksha or Diti. Svayambhuva had a son named Uttanapada. In his line, the Prachetas appeared. Their son was Daksha. He had a daughter named Diti. Diti was married to Kashyapa and bore Hiranyaksha. Thus, since Hiranyaksha was born long after the Svayambhuva Manvantara, the firstborn Avatara who appeared during Svayambhuva's time could not have killed him. Therefore, it should be understood that when the firstborn Avatara appeared, he simply lifted the earth from the ocean. So there was no killing them. And the second, then he did this.
But then the question arises why in the first place the earth was needed to be rescued. What happened?
Yeah, now this discussion starts. And now there will be another discussion. Because some people say there was a flood, and some people say there is no flood. After every Manu, there is a flood. Some people say no. Flood is only at the day of Brahma, at the end of the day. And some people say it was not real flood, it was illusion, Maya flood, which appeared in the mind of Manu. Yeah, we read now. That's why I told you. Now we are starting to read very. So until now was little philosophy dry, but now you read and you don't believe what you read. What? The truth has been discerned in this way. Maitreya, being asked by Vidura, narrated the activities of both appearances of Varaha in one story. So he merged them. Why is it difficult to discern that there were two different Varahas in the third canto, 13th chapter? This verse explains. Thus, because the truth has been concluded by discrimination, Maitreya, speaking on being questioned by Vidura, put different events from different times in one story, because Varaha is one avatara. Thus, there is no contradiction. Okay, so at least this we should remember. There were two appearances, they are merged in the Bhagavatam story in one, because it's one person, Varaha, and thus there is no contradiction. That's my.
Can you say like that it is not a problem and it's not, how to say, mistake if when we are explaining this to someone, we say that we just mention it as one story, as the Bhagavatam. There is no apparent need for us to go all the details that there were two, we just can say it as one.
Yeah. And when they ask, they start to develop some Shraddha, then we can explain more. Text 18. It is mentioned in the Matsya Purana that there was a pralaya during Swayambhuva's reign because of a curse of a sage upon Swayambhuva. But the earth does not get submerged in water except at final devastation. Thus, why did Varaha appear? This is your question. Again, in the tradition of our school, the students, they ask question just before the question is answered. So it's a long tradition, already maybe 15 years. And we see this every year. Maybe we have to write some account on this. Thus, why did Varaha appear? Because the earth was not submerged during Swayambhuva reign. This verse answers, because of the curse of Agastya upon Swayambhuva, there was a devastation during his period. Footnote. This is a partial devastation. Okay, it's not full. At that time, Varaha appeared to lift the earth which was submerged. This is mentioned in the Matsya Purana. So that's why he appeared. There was a need. But there was no killing then. He just appeared and lifted, but there was no demon.
So when it is said he lifted the earth, it means he lifted the Bhumandala, or it means he lifted...
So what's the answer to this?
It's Bhumandala.
Bhumandala.
Everything.
So basically the water came up, and then Varaha also lifted the earth so that the water is still under.
The earth went down because the water went up.
Yeah.
Lifted it and put it back on top. Because all the demigods took birth again, so it must have been the whole of Bhumandala. Every demigod.
The earth on top of what?
Water.
The water. And he gave the earth his... He gave the earth his potency so that the earth could float, because he could put it and he can submerge again. This is from Bhagavatam.
By his touch.
But then the picture that we have with the earth and Varaha, then it's not entirely...
If you want to know the truth about that, come to my seminar every day. There's a lot of devotees there, and we're going through the whole 5th canto.
That's a free advertisement.
But it's flat and it floats on water, and yeah. The other thing's just bogus.
Amazing stuff. I told you, there's many juicy things. Yeah.
On that picture, when Varaha holding the earth, he's a red.
So double mistake. He's neither red, he neither holds... No, I'm just joking. I don't... About the red thing, I'm not sure. But
do you know what this potency is? Sorry.
Yeah.
It says that the Lord invested the earth his potency so she could float on the water. So when you have a ship that's sunk in the ocean, for instance, how they lift it up is they pump air into the bowels of that ship, and then it lifts up. And when you go into a port or something, you'll let the air out, and the ship will sink in the water, and you pump air in, it will go up in the water, etc., etc. So in other words, when someone has been drowning, you do this mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, and you put air in their lungs. So he literally did mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. He gave air to the earth, and then the earth. Bali Maharaj says that Mother Earth can bear any heavy weight except for that of a lion.
A liar,
And the earth says she's like a ship that carries everything. She says herself, Mother Muni. So in other words, earth floats on water and it's a ship, and the air inside it, that keeps earth floating. And when that air is taken out, when the life breath of you is going, it's because there's too many sinful people. And they're lying or committing whatever. And then the earth slightly sinks.
Oh, that's why the ocean rises now.
And when the earth slightly sinks, what happens is then earth comes under the subjugation or the rule of the demons in Attila. And that's what's happening right now on our earth. Because it's sinful, then we're ruled by the Attila demons. And so everybody has to be pious, and that piety lifts the earth, and then we're ruled by the demigods. You follow? It's just the
It's
buoyancy.
like a mechanical thing, yeah.
It's buoyancy. Two laws rule the universe, thermodynamics and fluid dynamics. So it's really that simple. That's why we have to do the Sanctum movement. Sorry for...
Yeah, no, thank you. That was very nice. I remember also you were saying some years back that when you go high in the universe, there is warm, there's high vibration. When you go down, it's cold, slower vibration. And it's a spiritual truth that can be presented in a kind of mechanical way, but they correspond very logically. I was thinking that when you dive, you want to dive, then you have to, otherwise you cannot dive because you're full of air. Okay.
And it's piety that helps the earth float, heat.
Yeah.
No, I just maybe wanted to share. So basically, when you leave your body, whatever vibration you acquired, you just kind of like float to that
level.
Yeah, and then you
go
just
to that level.
stay in the next body there.
According to desires and deserves what you...
Some years back, when my uncle left his body, I had a dream. He came in my dream a little later, and he told me, it's interesting. He was kind of smiling, and he said, it's interesting in the way your состояние, your condition when you die, you keep this condition afterwards. He said, for example, he gave me an example in my dream. He said, for example, while dying, if you are cold, then somehow you're cold all the time afterwards. And if you feel warm, then you'll feel warm after you die. And then, but he said, well, I didn't know you reading this type of books, and now I'm reading these books. They gave it to me, so I'm getting educated in this knowledge. So, but he was in good shape. Okay, Hare Krishna. Om Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories to the